I absolutely love the Neo Geo, and I'm sure you guys are aware of that if you've been watching my channel lately. So I've been covering a lot of different options with Neo Geo, mostly with a lot of different consolized MVS units to be able to play on original hardware. But I've also sprinkled in a little bit of Neo Geo Pocket, Color, different options to play via Mister, emulation, the different devices from SNK. And I just really like original hardware, and a lot of you guys do as well. And a lot of people have been gravitating towards getting consolized MVS units because a lot of them are reasonably priced. The games are a lot cheaper than AES games. Some people just like to play on original hardware. No matter which way you play, it's awesome. But I really like talking about different options when it comes to these consolized MVSs. We've covered a bunch of them in the past. Some were booty, some were awesome, some kind of in the middle, sucking a little bit, not too much. You guys know what's up. And I just like being a resource, giving you guys an idea, the pros and cons and whatnot. So recently we covered the OMVS from Tatoc Labs, and I absolutely love this thing. Cost me under $380 with shipping. It's a Consolized MV1C board, and it is pretty nice. 2 controller ports in the front. I did paint it. The paint cost me around $8, and I do love the results here. It looks awesome. The whole shell is 3D printed and whatnot, but I think that glossy paint really makes it look beautiful. But the big thing for me was this has the Sega Genesis Model 2 video port. Very important for me to be able to use like HD Retrovision cables, or even what I like to use quite often is the Rad2X. Just simple HDMI, boom, we got it going. And this one really delivers with that. The video quality, sound, everything is great. It's a very small unit. Now, one that I meant to cover a long time ago, but I wound up not doing it, was the Omega from ArcadeWorks. I bought one a few years ago, and I was gonna review it and all that, but I wound up getting rid of it. I don't remember the whole story behind it, but the reason I got rid of it is because I didn't really like it. So this thing, it has a lot going on for it. And I did pre-order another one around the same time I ordered this. I recently got this one in. I wanted to give it another shot because there's been some new things come out for this over when I originally had one. So it's a nice unit. I mean, it's very reminiscent of an AES. I mean, it's just kind of big. Look at it compared to the OMVS. Like, holy crap. It's the same board in both of these. This is an MV1C as well. But look at that size difference. I mean, the form factor is very similar, but wow, the OMVS really compact. But this thing with the AES styling, the plastic molded, shell, very professional looking. I remember the first time I had one of these, there was a sticker down here. This one does not. I don't know if they just stopped doing that or, kind of oversight. I don't know, who cares, but no sticker. But the one thing I didn't like originally was the audio video output. The system comes with an AV cable, composite cable, and it looks fine if you're playing on a CRT. But in order to use RGB component and whatnot, you have to buy their cables. And those were like 30 bucks or so. And it looked bad when I tested it originally. I don't have the RGB cables now because I wasn't gonna buy them because I swapped the actual board in here. This is the stock AV board. I'll show you footage of the swap in a second here, but this is the stock AV board. And if you run component through this, it's very dark. I had distortions and whatnot. It looked bad. It just ruined the experience for me, especially for the cost of this thing. Just buying it the way it is, it's 530 bucks. Pretty pricey. Now it does have some features over this, but negligible. We'll talk about that. Both of them do have Unibios 4.0. So nice thing with that is you could change the region, Europe, USA, or Japan. You could run it in either AES home console mode or arcade mode, MVS mode. Has its pros and cons running it either way. I mean, it is an arcade board. I prefer running these in MVS mode, adding credits and whatnot. But if you want to run it like you're playing on an AES, I mean, this already kind of looks like an AES. There's some benefits to that if you want to play it that way. But the one nice thing with the Omega is it does have that virtual memory card built into it. So you could save progress, either AES mode, MVS mode, swap it around. If you unlock characters or just saving progress in games, this has that capability, whereas this does not stock anyway. So I'm gonna talk more about that in a second here. Now, swapping the AV board, I did get the board from Castlemania Games. It was designed by Tian Feng, the MVS AV board, and it allows you to use Genesis Model 2 cables. So I can use those HD Retrovision cables. I can use that Rad2X. Awesome stuff. So I got that in there. That board cost me $65. So now we're sitting at around $700 for this unit here to have pretty much the same video output as the OMVS, which was under 380 shipped. So this is around 700 with everything that I had going. I don't remember if I paid shipping or not for this, but it's $530 on their site and then $65 for that damn board through Castlemania Games. So this does not have the virtual memory card. This does, but that price difference. Now, the virtual memory card was recently sold through the Neogeo fan club for 45 bucks. So if you got one, you tacked it onto this, you're sitting at like 425 for the same exact compatibility as this, right? I love the way this looks, very professional. Once we got that board in there, the video quality, way better than what it originally was. Very happy with that, but the price, the cost, everything behind this thing, just like, holy crap, I'm gonna have this OMVS with the virtual memory card as soon as I receive the ones that I ordered, and that's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be pretty much the same as this system, just in a smaller form factor. Not the same level of professional shell, but I still absolutely love the way this thing looks. And comparing the video quality between the two, because from what I understand, the AV board for the OMVS is pretty much the same as that MVS AV board that I installed in here, same technology. So we're getting pretty much the same output. Looking at the footage and the sound, you know, hearing that sound, tasting it, however you bring it into your system, however you bring those visuals in, I don't know. They both look and sound the same to me now anyway. So it's like, holy crap, I spent several $100s more on this to where once I have this with that VMC, it's gonna be pretty much the same. But some people may prefer the look of this thing, right? But I have one other issue. And I remember this from before. Now I have to point this out. It's really gonna vary on what kind of controllers you're using, if they're homemade, if they're original, OEM, that type of thing. But as just an example, if you're using original controllers, the plug is gonna be this way, right? Even if you buy like a conversion board for the Neogeo X controller, it's gonna be very similar. It's just this part's a little different. But okay, let's plug it into the OMVS. It sits in there real nice. There's not much of a gap, and it's in there. Like, it's in there. Very nice. So it has that, it's recessed. The connection's recessed. That works for me. This, it's flush on the Omega. I have an issue with that. I remember this. I don't know why I didn't remember it when I bought it again, but okay, it plugs in, it'll work, but it's just kind of like, it's right at the nuts edge of the connector where I could just like barely wiggle it. Like, let me try to get the camera angle so you see I'm not like really forcing it. I'm just wiggling it back and forth, and it's just, it's ready to fall out. Like, it's that close to the edge. Like, you put it in, it's only going in like 3 millimeters. So it can come loose very easily and come out. It just doesn't feel like a solid connection. Does it work? Yes. If you have like some crazy foot traffic going over your little cable, somebody barely touches this, it's gonna fall out of the Omega. It's gonna fall out. So that's the one thing I really don't like, because every controller I have, just the way it sits in there, it's right at the tip. Just the tip got inserted, and that's it. This one, you're going all the way. You're going balls deep in this thing, and the controller just slides in nicely all the way to the end. Like, the whole thing is in there, and we're straight, we're good. It ain't going anywhere. Sure, somebody could run across and pull it. It's gonna frickin' yank the system. So maybe it's like a safety feature. If you got like some crazy ass kids or somebody, like, and they walk past, it's like the system ain't gonna go nowhere, the controller's gonna go out. But if this one's plugged in, the whole thing's gonna go frickin' flying. like maybe that's a security feature that's built in, or maybe it's just the way it is to accommodate different style of DB15 connectors to be able to be plugged in there. Because if you have like a computer style plug for DB15, just some off the shelf shit, it's most likely not gonna fit in here without an extender on the OMVS, but it'll fit in here okay. But it's just these stock like connectors, I just don't like it. I didn't mean to dwell on like half the video talking about that, but it has to be pointed out. Both of these systems are amazing, but I'm only gonna keep one. I'm not sure yet. As soon as I get the VMC for this one, I'm gonna kind of balance it out and figure it out. The internals on this thing is very clean on the Omega. It looks nice. The system is really awesome. Both of them are great, but I really don't need both of them. And you guys, if you followed me, you know I have that madpixelshop.com going on where I sell previously reviewed items, stuff from my collection. One of these two may wind up on there. I'm not sure yet. So keep tabs on that website if you're looking for something. If I sell one of these, it's gonna be bundled up with stuff like controllers and all that kind of, you know, awesomeness. So if you're interested, keep tabs. I can't guarantee I'm gonna put one of them up, but there only needs to be one. I only need one. Which one should I keep? This one was hella expensive though. Holy crap. So there you go. For the love of Neo Geo, appreciate you guys watching, hanging out with me on this one. And with that said, give you guys a big blurry ass thumb butt in your face. Oh, it's actually like nice. It ain't blurry. We actually caught that big thumb butt on camera this time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye.